Guys, so now this channel has started to pick a little bit of direction in my mind. So I was just starting out with like channel messages and pick a card readings, but now I want to make it about the we're just gonna freestyle this video. And I've just come from the farm, so I am super dirty, and it's not dirty, it's just mud. Mud is not equivalent to dirt, so even my hands are kind of muddy, and that's fine. So this is how we're gonna make the video today. Let's just be real. And what this channel is gonna be about is just my thoughts about life and the conclusions I've come to. So the thing is, in life I've met a very few amount of original thinkers. And when anyone does think originally, like what I mean by that is that the way you think has in it an inherent presence and an insistent presence of questioning the current norms and the foundations on which people build their conclusions. Right. So that's the thing, people. That's why some people seem so sure and set and confident, but they actually don't know. Like, once you go beyond a point in your awakening, or once you become conscious enough, you actually become less confident. There's a point in your journey where there's a dip because you're using the ABCD to build your words, and then you question more, and then you go down to the ABCD. And when you question the ABCD, you're like, okay, wait, what now? Where do I go from here? And to build a new kind of alphabet that with which you can frame your language more beautifully and sync, move in sync with the language of the universe, that takes time and patience. And it, what the hell? Oh, actually, I live in a jungle, and there are leopards and tigers and uh, pigs and monkeys and all the jungle animals here. So anytime anything moves, I have to be a little wary. Anyway, so in this video and on this channel, we're just gonna be speaking about the conclusions of life and my thoughts on life. It's just like gonna be a philosophical freestyle kind of channel. That's what I've thought about it. And the difference that this is gonna make is the kind of thinking that I have. So if you like my perspective, if you like the way I think, then you are free to listen to this. So today we are gonna be speaking about relationships in life, and I'm just gonna be speaking about my take on relationships in my life and what they've meant for me. So I have, if I look back at my life, I've kind of been a loner all my life. So in school, I was that kid who didn't have friends. I had like that one friend that I liked surprisingly, and I liked her so much that we used to like stick together for the whole grade. And I was the shy kid, and I didn't really fit in all that well, even though I had like my intelligence was pretty good. I had above average intelligence, but I still didn't fit in, right? And then I grew up, and that pattern kind of continued throughout my academic life. So I don't fit in with most people. And there was a point after I awakened. I'm calling my awakening, let's just define awakening. It doesn't mean I had a Kundalini awakening. It doesn't mean my soul reached up and saw and merged with source consciousness and I saw the whole earth. That none of that happened to me. What my awakening was just confusion and a questioning of everything. That's how I see it. Because when you start to question where you are, is where you have to leave from where you are to reach somewhere else, right? So that departure is what I'm calling awakening, and I'm yet to awaken. That's why it's a process. So when all of that happened, uh, I was a loner. I didn't like people, and I stopped liking people even more. Actually, I didn't seem to resonate with anyone, and that pushed me even deeper into like depression and anxiety and loneliness. And I was like, "Ah, I just don't like this planet, man. I just don't like Earth." But like eventually, I found some relationships that I liked. Like I had my dog with me. I used to like my dog. Not a lot, if I'm being honest. I was scared of my dog because my dog was kind of Dogs are really cute and stuff, but dogs have their own personality. And my dog was so cute, it's like a toy dog Pomerian. But my dog had a defense mechanism actually, which is partially my fault. But yeah, because of that defense mechanism, I used to feel scared of being rejected by her, and she used to reject me a lot. So she didn't like me. There was a part of her that didn't like me, and so I used to have to live with that constantly because she used to follow me all the time. And yeah, she had like narcissistic personality disorder almost, where she was very nice to new people and very sweet, but like to me, who we had a very close relationship, she used to act different. And that's the thing, right? Anytime you enter a relationship with someone, you're gonna see that first you see them and you're like, oh my god, this person is all flowers and rainbows and butterflies and bees, and then you get closer and then you see the thorns of the flowers. You see the how the rainbow is just a sham, right? It's just something you see. It's not something that actually exists. And you see that the rainbow is not eternal. It's fleeting, and it's caused only sometimes if a lot of conditions, align, happen to align. Only then you'll see the rainbow. And then you see that the bees also sting, and you see that butterflies are pretty delicate, and it's very hard to tame and keep and help a butterfly thrive because it's so delicate. So you start to see the other side of the coin. You start to see the reality behind the mask. You start to see the truth of someone as they are. And the truth of someone as they are is you're not going to get a perfect person according to what society standards and your standards say. You're going to end up with a real person with all of their flaws and how they've been hurt by society, and the love and the hate and the uh, peace and the violence and everything is in a person. So a person is like a mini black hole, or like a whole package of, it's a whole portal or a package, right? And yeah, so right. So even so I have a relationship with everything. Like I have a relationship with these, there are like poly bags behind me right here. Oh, right. These are the poly bags, okay? So they just look like poly bags, right? Like what is this? But I also have a relationship to these. If I actually go inside my mind enough and try to figure it out, I actually have a relationship to these. I'll tell you right now. I used to go in the garden when I was 5 years old. There was a garden beside my house, and there were these poly bags. That's the first time I saw them. And I had gone with my family, and there were Chinese chickens around. And I picked them up, and people had called me very brave because no one approached them, and I actually went and straight picked them up. So when I think about this, I'm remembering all of that, and I had no idea. I just realized it because I focused on that. So when I see this pipe, I remember my cousin brother. I don't know why, this blue pipe. So life is so complicated. We are just constantly playing all of these things in our head, and yeah, we're so unaware of how much our brain is processing and how much stimulus we have inside of our minds. So yeah, I was that person, and then I was just so depressed. I used to hate everyone, man. Like, I was like, people fucking suck. And I understand, that oneness theory and all that stuff, but then that's like an ideal I want to reach to. That's not something I expect of myself right now because I know it's an unrealistic expectation, and it causes me to feel judgment towards where I am right now. So you have to honor the process, and to honor the process, you have to start with accepting where you are right now. It's the easiest place to be. It feels relieving to accept myself, and I can start from here. So I am at a place where I use the words of hate and love and anger, and because it's a part of life. And while doing that, I still have that in mind that this is not my ideal. This is not where I want to reach. If I hate someone right now, that means I'm in the process, and that's okay. As long as you keep in mind that you know we are heading somewhere. It's not okay to lose sight of our end goal either, because then you get lost, and then you kind of sway with the hate, and you become more and more and more hateful. When ideally, if you accept your hate and you let it play out in the direction of the ultimate goal, you'll realize that you're becoming less and less and less hateful, and more loving. So it obviously happens like this, but it happens like this, towards that ultimate love goal. Uh, so there are going to be two people on this channel, two types of people, I think. One type of person is going to be like, bro, this person is completely like a nutcase who speaks so vaguely and in so many corollaries and diversions. And there's going to be a certain type of crowd that's going to be like, oh my god, finally I found someone who thinks like this, and I love how you speak and I love how you think. It makes me feel like validated. So either way, you're welcome, and you're welcome to this channel. And if you are the second type, then please comment, because I love talking to such people. Like, uh, my favorite thing in life is like understanding new concepts, and it feels like a pocket dimension, pocket sized dimension of reality opens up for you, and it opens in your mind, and like, oh wow, like this is what life should be about. This is what my life is about. So yeah, slowly I had some relationships in my life that are divinely guided. Other than animals, I used to only like animals and cows, because you don't have to pretend with them. And then I recently realized that I like people who are mad. Mad as in proper mad, you know, like they don't have any. Actually, mad people, right? I met one guy who's mad, and this guy uh, doesn't have a bath, and all of his teeth are decayed, and he smokes all the time, and he doesn't speak properly. Like, he doesn't understand. He speaks properly, but he doesn't understand the uh, I don't know, current norms of society. So first, when I saw him, what played in my mind was the bias of society. That's the first thing that played in my mind, and I assumed that I was not going to like him, right? Because I'll just have to like tolerate him. But and then I spent some time with him actually. So I was in the cow Goshala. Okay, Goshala is like a cow space where we keep the cows, and this guy was putting bhusa or fodder for the cows, and I was just sitting in that pit where the cows eat the fodder, and the cows are on both sides. My favorite place is to sleep in that pit, so I was sleeping in that pit, and he was just putting fodder, and then I just spent like 5 to 10 minutes with this guy, and I was like, oh my god. I just realized that I like this guy. What? Because I don't like anyone, right? So it's very, very rare for me to like someone. And I was like, I actually like this guy. Wait, what? And then I thought about it, and since that day, I really started liking him from my heart. And the reason I do, I think, is because he has no conscious awareness of the norms of society, and he has no idea what people are thinking, and how they're perceiving him, and all of these societal expectations, bro. It feels like a fucking burden. Ugh, I shouldn't swear. I mean, who cares? It feels like a burden, like a ton of bricks on my head. All of these societal expectations that we carry around all the time, and we have to be a certain way for certain people, and then all of our energy just goes into all of this, and that's the reason I don't like crowds at all. We have to fit into their stuff for our social survival, and this is something our brain does very subconsciously, but this is something our brain definitely does. So this guy had no conscious awareness of it, and I was so mesmerized by that. And then I met one more guy who's kind of mad, and semi mad, and I also really liked him. So this was a new discovery for me, that I also like crazy people. Not the kind of crazy that are like violent, that's gonna like hit me or something. Just like, normal, like function. They can function in society, but they're crazy, like actually crazy, deemed crazy by science and what else and whatnot. But they're my favorite kind of people, and I like animals. Uh, and I like very few people. Like, if there are like maybe like 100,000 people in one room, I like two people out of them, because that's how rare it is for me to like someone. And I don't like anyone else, and I don't want to talk to them, don't want to interact with them. I'm that kind of person that I won't interact. I don't like spending a minute with the people I don't like. Oh, I also like people who are poor, again poor, and uh, like tribal people. I love people who are like tribal people. I'm so comfortable with them. Different language, different belief systems. They also have their societal structures and hierarchies and whatnot. But for some reason, that doesn't bother me. Like, I don't know. I love tribal people. So like, these are like the kind of people I like. Two to three kind of people. I don't like anyone else. But nowadays, there have been some relationships in my life that are sent by God. I have no other way to put it. And through that, I am learning for the first time in my life what love is, what real love is on this planet. The first time I'm realizing I'm feeling something akin to love, and I'm feeling something akin to genuine respect, a genuine ownership. What do you call that in English? I speak in Hindi and Marathi mostly, so you say apnapan, like this is my person. It just comes automatically. You don't have to force it. You don't have to use logic and say that your problems are my problems. Like, if anything bothers you, it bothers me more. It just happens from the inside, and that's what like divine relationships are. So you don't have to force anything. You just have to go with the flow. And since this relationship has come into my life, like these kind of divinely orchestrated relationships have come into my life, I've noticed a lot of changes in myself. I've noticed that I've become less depressed, I've become happier, I've become more childlike, I've become less introspective and more. Uh, I just go with the flow and I trust my feelings, I trust my intuition and my gut. So, yeah, I'm so grateful for that. And we're gonna speak about this in more detail. We're just gonna post it and see what happens. We're gonna speak more about a lot of things actually. And I was even thinking about making this like an education slash awakening kind of channel, like where we learn something together. We like read a book together, and then we can channel our thoughts about that book or whatever insights we've received as being an original thinker. So the I love learning stuff, right? So the thing is, if someone that day I was just sitting and I was like, why don't we drink dog milk? We drink cow milk, we drink buffalo milk, we drink goat milk and camel milk, and even dogs are so abundant everywhere. Why don't we drink dog milk? And then people started laughing, like my friends, they started laughing, and then we actually started thinking about it. And then I only the next moment I said that maybe it's because like these guys, goats, cows, buffaloes, they only eat green grass, and dogs also eat like meat, and they eat all random stuff, and we don't want to drink ingest that with the milk. So that could be a reason. So the point I'm trying to make is that when you have an open mind, no questions are dumb and no questions are stupid. So questioning is encouraged. So we can ask a lot of questions about the current norms, and we can get to know reality deeper together. So that's what this channel is going to be about. So yeah, see you guys.